Hey everybody, welcome into another edition of Make Every Second Count Live. Now, I'm your host, Jeff Marconette Jr., the award-winning international Make Every Second Count speaker, and I am very excited about this show. Yes, I have been doing this show for over 3 years now, but I get excited about each and every one of them. And I am pumped up about tonight's guest because tonight's guest is Dr. Kristen Guillory. Hi, Kristen.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me and congratulations on having your show for over 3 years. That's a big deal.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, if you would like to go through your introduction, tell everybody who you are, where you're from, why you. I'm going to pull this up on my phone so I can see who is watching with me.
Awesome. So I am from Dallas, Texas, and as we know, everything that happened in Texas last week. So it was a hard week. I'm currently in Florida, just doing some things here, but thankfully my family is okay. I am a very proud aunt. I am a solo traveler. I am a former professor of 12 years, therapist of 4 years, turned speaker coach, and I've been speaking and training for about 14 years, and I've done a lot of traveling there. My heart behind what I do as a coach in particular is yes, I do help my clients to frame their messages and monetize their message, but my heart is to help them walk in the fullness and freedom of who they are, to be authentically like who they are on stage. Because what I've recognized over doing this for so many years is the traditional speaker frameworks were never created with me in mind and unintentionally dismiss the essence that many of us can bring to the table. So that's a little bit about me.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. Now I like to say hi to Brenda and Jody and Brandy and Nicole and Colleen and Marilyn and Amy and Brittany. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope continue to comment on this. Let us know that we're making a presentation and not, or we're having a conversation instead of a presentation. So please ask as many questions as you like. If you are where you are from, and if you are watching the replay, please type in hashtag to see who watches this show. So I would like to hop right into it. Ask Dr. Kristen if she has dealt with anything on this journey of life.
Oh, yes. We anything in particular? Yes. Which part of life?
I think I
Uh oh. I think you froze. Maybe. There you go.
yeah, I'm having internet issues, I think.
Oh, want to make sure. Do you want me to share? Want to make sure. Yep.
Yes.
Okay, okay, good deal. And no worries, I my internet was acting not as great the other day when I had something. That's just technology, right? And we accept
Yeah.
grace and extend it. So a little bit of my journey and in particular things where I've experienced some hurdles. I would say the honestly the very first significant hurdle for me was in 2013 when so one of the first things I mentioned early in this chat is I'm a really, really proud aunt. Like being an aunt is number almost number one for me. And in 2013, one of my nephews suddenly passed away and it was devastating. It was
Sorry.
if thank you, if just devastating. Not only, of course, it's a devastating loss. I'm the oldest in my family, and if anybody who can relate to this is the oldest, we feel like we have to do everything and save everybody. And that was literally the first time in my life that I couldn't fix it. And it physically brought me to my knees. So I struggled. I put my pain to the side because I didn't think that, oh, it wasn't my child, it was my sister's child and I need to help her. So I put my grief to the side. I put my pain to the side, and it wasn't good. I mean, I wasn't good. One of my students, I was a professor at that time, and one of my students came with me to a speaking engagement. And when we were leaving, like on the way back to Dallas, she was like, Dr. G, that was really good, but you seem really sad. And I was. So I would eventually experience depression, and I would go to counseling. Like, I was a therapist, but this was the first time I went to counseling for myself. And for me, I say that this is there are some losses you won't ever heal fully from. Like, Jeff, have you heard people say time heals all wounds? Like,
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I think it's not the time, it's what you do with it. And then I think that some wounds will never fully heal, and that's okay. Like, I
No,
have healed from some wounds, but I am walking life with a limp. And that's
the
okay, right?
the way I feel is like I know from losing my mom in 2016 that the wound never actually heals, but it becomes easier by the day of you learn how to take that,
Yeah.
and it doesn't become easier, but I think that's what they're saying by time heals all wounds. I think they're just becoming smaller and smaller, and eventually you can take them. Or they say that you eat an elephant one bite at a time. And that is kind of like that do it little bits every day. And eventually that adds up to something big.
Absolutely. And the key is doing something, which is well, I'm going to say it's not time. It is what you do with it. I have worked with clients. I've worked with quite a few people who seemingly were in the same place years later just because the loss was so paralyzing. But it's right, like it's that work that you just said. So that was one of my first experiences of just this is devastating, and allowing myself to feel. And then it's okay not to be okay, right? Like, it's okay to not be okay. Even last week with everything that went on in Texas, I was talking to different people saying, if somebody's telling you to be strong, you don't have to be strong. Jeff, when I lost my nephew, people were telling me to be strong. And I was like, respectfully, I don't want to be strong. I can't be strong because on my best day, it's not my strength that carries me. So my faith is important to me. My faith carries me. So I can't do it. So that's okay. So anyway, I did some little bit of work there. So that's my first really significant, just really hard thing for me. The next was I left my job. So I was a professor for a long time, and I was led to leave my job. And I thought I was going to start this entrepreneurial journey and speak and train and do all these amazing things, which I have done. But the journey did not look like what I thought. For the first time, I struggled financially. I had never struggled financially, and I was ready to quit. Like, look, Jeff, I do not curse. I cursed at the Lord. Like, I was like, Lord, I don't know what the F you want me to do. I don't want to do this anymore. And it was just one of those, I was frustrated, and I had to surrender. I had to recognize that I was on the journey I was supposed to be on. And just because the journey didn't look like what I thought didn't mean that it wasn't worth it. And so, I'm so grateful for everything. But that was one of, oh my gosh, what do I do? And then part of that journey in 2015, I struggled with doubt and fear tremendously. Like, I was paralyzed by what I thought people were thinking. Like, not what they said to me, because I was this professor and I got y'all. Look, Jeff, I got my PhD really young. I got it at 27, and I was doing all these great things. And I left a professor job to do this. And I was so worried about what I thought people were going to think. And it paralyzed me so much. I'm so glad I'm not there anymore, but I know people can relate to just the power of our thoughts and the power of fear and doubt. So I would say those are probably three of my significant hurdles that I have encountered.
Yes, exactly. Now, After my car accident, I was in a serious car accident. Now, I will show this to you and everyone else. That was my car. Now, I spent 2.5 months in a coma and 3.5 in the hospital. And I learned that you do have to ignore what other people think, because if I had listened to the people after my accident, I would still be in probably a nursing home or the hospital bed, or not walking at all and sitting in a wheelchair. The thing is, we have to move on. You can't worry about what those other people think or what you think those other people are going to think, because their opinion doesn't matter. The only opinion that matters is your own, because you are the only person anything in the world. And that's just why I'm there. But how exactly did you get things? What did you do in order to?
Yeah. So first of all, I'm so thankful that you are here and inspiring so many people, and that you didn't listen to what people said,
Jeez,
right? Like, I'm so grateful that
I
you are.
apologize. I'm having some internet issues
It's all
at the
good. What did they say?
moment.
Teamwork makes the dream work. We got it. I got you. Teamwork makes the dream work. I was just saying,
Hmm.
I'm grateful for your story and everything. And I heard you say, what did I do to get over? So with the grief
We
with my
might
nephew.
both be having internet issues.
Uh oh. Well, hey,
You're back.
are we okay? Ooh, ooh. So for me, so you asked what did I do, or what happened for me to deal with it or get over it. So I would say first with the grief, it was honestly multiple things. It was allowing myself to feel. It was allowing myself to know that I can't fix it all. It was allowing myself to go to counseling. It was allowing myself to know that tears can our tears are sometimes prayers that we don't know how to put into words. Because prior to that loss, I only cried like twice a year. I was like, I'm a G. I don't cry, and it's okay. So I learned that, and then just a journey, and it also allowed me to be more sensitive with working with different people through loss, and not just the loss of someone physically, but it could be a loss of an expectation, a job, a dream, a relationship. And so that was one thing. For the worrying about what I thought people thought, honestly, I had to eventually just do it scared. I did. Like, I was like, look, there's a reason that the Lord put on my heart to do this. I need to do it. Even if I'm scared, even if I'm this, I know that I need to do it. And I made sure I had support and journaled and affirmations and all that stuff. But affirmations have been really helpful for me, and mindset's been really helpful for me. One tool that I used about a year ago is called the 21-day brain detox. That helped, because the thing is, a lot of times we think that if I put it out of my mind, it's not there. That's not really what it is. It's still there. We just compartmentalize. So, one thing that I think is awesome is to weaken the toxicity of that thought. Whatever the thought is, to weaken the toxicity of that negative thought. And so I did a 21-day brain detox by Dr. Caroline Leaf, and that was very helpful. And then, honestly, with the money part, not so after I cursed out the Lord, it's not that things
Yeah.
changed after that. What happened was, I remember saying, I don't ever want to feel this way about money again. Because I could make money an idol by having a lot or having a little. I was like, I don't ever want to feel this way about money again. Let me just do what I do well. Let me just serve well. Let me just give freely. Let me just be open to what the Lord wants me to do. And so, yeah, everything has been amazing and wonderful. But I strive to just be gentle with myself on the journey, and also celebrate. That was something I didn't do a couple years ago. I strive to just celebrate, like, every win, every win. One of my coaches said, celebrate those things you want to see more of. So I celebrate everything I
Yeah.
want to see more of.
Yeah, that's very true. Now, I want to take a second here, and you mentioned journaling. Now, I'm kind of fond of journaling because make every second count a 1,500 hour journal.
Nice.
Now, this is it's actually got room to write in here, and it's an actual journal, and it is 9 weeks with an activity at the end of each week, and it is to help you put things into perspective, use gratitude more in your life, and it's to help people find more life. So I urge you, Dr. Kristen, you should get this. Now, I will let you guys in on a little secret here. So my journal is actually the first week. Now, as soon as I get this to come up, well, darn it, come on. www.jeffmarconette Jr. So Jr. Junior is jr.com, and you guys can actually download the first 7 days of that journal for free. So check that out, guys, and I will post this in the chat afterwards so you guys can get it. All right. Sorry, Kristen, but
That's
now I have to ask.
uh-oh. Think you'll be coming back in a moment. I had my journal sitting right next to me too. It's not mine, but I like to journal as well. So yes, I look forward to checking his out too.
That was weird, but so I hope I'm still live. I don't know because it says in broadcast, but I'm not sure. So, but do you have any suggestions for other people that are having a hard time dealing with something in their life? I mean, there could be a death, there could be a loss of job, loss of finances, a loss of house. There's a lot of things that you can lose nowadays, and let's face it, people can get sick and die. So I want to know if there's any kind of suggestions you have for other people.
Absolutely. So I have a couple. The first is if you are experiencing any type of pain or loss or frustration, to number one, know that how you feel is okay. Like that's the first thing, to know that denying your feelings is not going to do anything and how you feel is okay. The second thing I would encourage you to do is if counseling is something you are open to consider counseling, to consider some support to help you walk this journey, because our thoughts are so powerful, and so powerful at times in not healthy ways. And when we're going through hard things, it's very easy to want to sit in silence and sit in isolation. But isolation is not always the best thing to do when we're going through a hard moment. Sometimes it is beneficial, but I would absolutely encourage counseling. I would encourage, and this is not necessarily a book plug, but it is a plug because I have a tool that I wrote specifically for this. And the book is called Walking Through the Fog, Holding On to Hope When You Can't See the Sun. And if you look my name up on Amazon, it is literally a book that I say I never wanted to write it, because if I wrote it, that means I went through it. And in the book, I talk about different things that I talked about today and other pains. And it's a workbook in a sense. So there are questions, and I've had plenty of people say, "Oh my gosh, I'm only on chapter 2. Thank you." So that is a tool. And then another one is I believe in writing down things. So going back to journaling would be number 4, to write down how you feel. How are you doing? What's going on? And then put it up there. Come on, journal. And then I would say a bonus one would be to engage in something that you believe is healthy for your mental wellness. And what I mean by that is, in addition to counseling and journaling and reading, if you believe fitness or eating, actually eating clean impacts our cognition as well, but just things on that journey. And also just be gentle. Just be gentle. And because, Jeff, we have literally been experiencing a collective trauma, right, over the last year due to COVID. Then there are other things going on with our own personal things. And so that's called compounded trauma. So what it means is very often we experience one thing and then something else comes and we unintentionally neglect that other thing that we're going through. So it's a couple of things, and just know that there's not a one size fits all. Everything that maybe works for me doesn't work for Jeff. What works for Jeff doesn't work for me. But the key is to please just don't do life alone. Oh my goodness, please don't go on this journey alone. And honestly, if I can support in any way, even if you need a resource, you can message me and I will be very happy to point you in a direction of a resource if you believe that you are struggling in different areas.
That's a perfect segue to my next question. Do you happen to have any contact information or anywhere someone can reach out to you if they're struggling?
Absolutely. So my name on the screen, I'm going to give you my email address and then my Instagram. So literally my Instagram is, if you remove the dot in my name, is Dr. Kristen Guillory all together. That's my Instagram, Dr. Kristen Guillory all together. My website is kristenguillory.com. And then my email address is drg@kristenguillory.com. So it's a combination of, so again, Instagram, remove the D, put it all together, Dr. Kristen Guillory, website, kristenguillory.com, and then email if you need to reach out, drg@kristenguillory.com.
That is awesome. Now, I apologize for the technical issues that we had tonight. I need to call somebody and find out what's up with my Wi-Fi. But oh well, because we made it through this episode. We made it through this day. We made it through this month, even this year, and even 2020. We made it through alive. And that's something that is so important that a lot of people take for granted, that they are alive. And life is not promised, guys. Look, Kristen here can help you deal with all kinds of things going through your days. And things are going to come up. Things are going to happen. It's inevitable. That's just part of life. But if you work on your foundation, if you work on your mind enough, you will have a strong house that is able to withstand that earthquake or withstand that heavy rain or heavy wind or even a tornado. So I have to say that, guys, you need to continue to watch this program. This program is on every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and we help you guys get from where you are dealing with what you're dealing with to the other side. So we want you guys to be living your best life. But you and Kristen both need to do me a favor. You need to make every second count. Why? Because you never know when the seconds are going to run out on your one life. Hey guys, until next week, I'll see you later. Thank you again, Kristen, and I hope you have a great night.
Thank you very much.